Imagine you are standing in the middle of a dense forest in the Pacific Northwest. The light is fading fast, filtering through the thick canopy in jagged streaks of orange and gray. Suddenly, a rare snowy owl takes flight. It's fast, blindingly fast. You have exactly 2 seconds to raise your camera, find the eye, lock focus, and fire a burst before it disappears into the shadows forever. At that moment, you don't care about megapixels. You don't care about brand loyalty. You care about one thing. Does this machine in my hand have the soul of a predator, or is it just a high-tech toy? Welcome to the most important conversation in the photography world right now. We are talking about the Canon EOS R7. In 2022, it was the chosen one. It was the mirrorless reincarnation of the legendary 7D series. It promised flagship speed at a fraction of the price. But now, as we move through 2026, the landscape has changed. Rumors of a Mark II are reaching a fever pitch. The competition from Sony and Fujifilm is at an all-time high, and every Canon shooter is asking the same question. Is the original R7 still the king of crop sensors, or is it a ticking time bomb of technical limitations? Today, we aren't just doing a review. We are doing an autopsy of a legend. We are going to look at why this camera became a cult classic for wildlife and sports photographers in the USA, and we're going to expose the dirty little secrets that Canon doesn't want you to know before you upgrade. If you own an R7, if you're thinking about buying one used, or if you're waiting for the Mark II, you need to hear every word of this. Because what I'm about to reveal about the rolling shutter and the hidden AF lag might just change your entire gear strategy for the next 5 years. To understand the R7, you have to understand the hunger that preceded it. For years, Canon DSLR users were obsessed with the 7D Mark II. It was a tank. It was fast. And because of that 1.6x crop factor, it turned a 400mm lens into a 640mm monster. It was the cheater's way to get close to the action without spending $30,000 on a white prime lens. But when mirrorless took over, Canon left the APS-C world in the dust for a while. They gave us the EOS M series, which, let's be honest, felt like a collection of travel toys. Then came the R7. It wasn't just a new camera, it was an apology. It was Canon saying, "We haven't forgotten the wildlife photographers." It arrived with a 32.5 megapixel sensor, 15 frames per second mechanical burst, and the autofocus system from the $3,000 R6. On paper, it was the greatest value in the history of digital photography. But as thousands of Americans took it into the field, from the swamps of Florida to the sidelines of Friday night lights, the cracks started to show. Let's talk about that sensor. 32.5 megapixels on a crop sensor is a lot of data. It's dense. In 2026, we are seeing cameras push higher, but 32.5 remains the sweet spot. Why? Because it gives you enough resolution to crop in even further. If you're a bird photographer in Texas, you know that birds are never close enough. You're always cropping. The R7 allows you to take a reach-limited shot and still have enough detail to print it for a gallery wall. But here is the catch that nobody talks about. High pixel density is a double-edged sword. Every tiny movement is magnified. Every bit of lens softness is exposed. If you put a cheap kit lens on the R7, the sensor will actually outrun the glass. You'll see chromatic